We'll go to Mr. Rogers first for this next question. Immigration has been another hot button issue in this election. It's complex. So I'm going to ask this next question with two parts in mind. What policies would you propose to, one, enhance border security, and two, improve the legal immigration system?
Yeah,
60
hard to
seconds.
do in a minute, but the first thing we must do is reinforce that Remain in Mexico. Absolutely has to happen. You need to take away the ability for people in other countries to fill out an app and then come across the country. What we're finding is that 10 million persons coming across the border is because of a wide open border, and unfortunately my opponent supported all of it. So we have criminals coming across, we have fentanyl coming across, we have human trafficking at unprecedented numbers coming across that southern border. And you can see the problems everywhere. Matter of fact, the sheriff of Oakland County was just talking about another series of raids by illegal immigrants last night in Oakland County. And so this is a problem we have to deal with. We do remain in Mexico, we stop it. You can't have a discussion about what legal immigration and reform looks like until we secure our border, protect our citizens, and make it easier for people who are here already trying to go through the system legally to get into the country.
All right, 60 seconds for Ms. Slotkin on that. One, how would you enhance border security? And two, how would you improve the legal immigration system?
Yeah, well, as a CIA officer and a Pentagon official, I spent my entire life protecting the homeland. So for me, this was an easy one. I've done more border legislation than any member of Congress, Democrat or Republican, in the state of Michigan, because no one's proud of what's going on at the southern border. What's going on at the southern border is a symptom of a broken immigration system. It's not working for anybody, not for people at the border, not for immigrants, not for our businesses who desperately need labor. It's not working for anybody. For me, it is every country in the world has the right to know who's coming in its borders. We've got to do more to secure it, and we had a deal on the table. This is the sad thing, is that we were doing actually what I think most Michiganders want. Democrats and Republicans in the Senate were sitting together, conservative members, liberal members, and they were hammering out a compromise on the border. The border agent organization supported this move, and Mr. Rogers and his allies came out against it. They would rather have immigration and border as a political issue than actually do the real work and get things done.
Thank you, Ms. Slotkin. Mr. Rogers, 30 seconds again to underscore the policies you would propose for this.
Yeah, and just quickly, that bill that my opponent talks about was voted down in a bipartisan way because it was a terrible bill. 2 million illegal immigrants guaranteed to come across the border every single year. That is nonsense. That is a non-starter. And if you look at all the things they say, oh, we want to work on it, we're going to do a bill, we're going to send a letter, none of that worked. If you've talked to the mothers or the families of people who have had children raped in this country by illegal immigrants, you would know how serious this issue is and how obfuscating your position isn't going to get it done.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. 30 seconds rebuttal for you, Ms. Slotkin.
Look, if it was such a bad deal, how come the folks who work here in Detroit, in Port Huron, and in Sault Ste. Marie, who actually work on the border, endorsed it? Do you know better than they do about how to secure a border? That, to me, is what Democrats and Republicans are supposed to be doing. Hammering it out, kicking out the press, kicking out Twitter, and just actually hammering out a compromise. That's what Americans expect of their leaders, and we were doing it. And then Mr. Rogers and his allies said, you know what, this is too good of an issue to use. If I worked at the Pentagon, if I was back at the Pentagon where I used to work, and I looked at a problem and I said it was really dangerous, but I don't want to do anything about it for political reasons, I'd be fired.
Thank you, Ms. Slotkin.